Today's video is where I'll be going over the solutions to the Year 8 compacted maths practice questions. Okay, so question 1. So Lara mixes 8 litres of soda water, 3 litres of Coke Zero, 1 litre of Diet Coke, 1 litre of red cordial, 5 litres of lemonade and 4 litres of ice cubes to get the craziest drinks her friends will ever have. Okay, so for A, you have to determine the following ratios in their simplest form. So the first one, lemonade to ice cubes. So we've got lemonade to ice cubes. So, sorry, I'll just write that in a ratio form. So we've got lemonade to ice cubes. So if we read our question, we can find out how much lemonade we have. She had 5 litres of lemonade and 4 litres of ice cubes. So our ratio there is 5 to 4, and we can't simplify that, so that would just be our answer. So we'd leave it as is. Then for B, we want the ratio of Coke to soda water. Now this one is a little bit more complex because if we read the question, we've got 3 litres of Coke Zero and 1 litre of Diet Coke. So the ratio of Coke is going to be 3 plus 1, so our Coke Zero plus our Diet Coke to soda water. And if we looked at how much soda water we have 8 litres. So that's 4 to 8. We can then simplify. So if we divide both of those numbers by their highest common factor, which is 4, we divide both sides by 4, our answer is 1 is to 2. Okay. Question 2, calculate the following ratios in their simplest form. Okay, so for A, we've got 40 cents to $2. So obviously they're in 2 different units, so when we're solving questions like these, we have to make sure that they're both in the same units. So you can convert either way. I just find it easier to go to the smallest currency. So I'll go 40 cents is to 200 cents. And then because they're the same units, I no longer need the units, so I can write 40 is to 200. Again, I have to divide by their highest common factor, and the highest common factor of those two is 40. 40 divided by 40 is 1. 200 divided by 40 is 5. So my ratio is 1 is to 5. Okay, for B, I've got 2/3 is to 4/5. So there's 2 different ways you can solve this depending on which way you want to do it. So you can cross multiply and then remove the denominators, or you can multiply both by their highest common factor. I'll show you both ways. So if we're cross multiplying, we're going to multiply both the numbers by the opposite denominator. So our first one would be 2 times 5 over 3 times 5 is to 4 times 3 over 5 times 3, and that would give us 10 over 15 is to 12 over 15. Once we've done that, we can just lose the denominators because they're the same denominator. So we've got 10 is to 12, and then we can just simplify there. So if we divide both sides by 2, we get 5 is to 6. So the alternate way is to multiply by the lowest common multiple. So we've got 2 over 3 is to 4 over 5, and our LCM of 3 and 5 is 15, so we can multiply them both by 15. So I can do 2/3 times 15 is to 4/5 times 15. If I type that into my calculator, 2 divided by 3 times 15 will give me 10. 4 divided by 5 times 15 will give me 12, and again I can just simplify. So divide both by the highest common highest common factor, and that will be 5 is to 6. So either of those methods is correct. Either of those will give you the correct answer. It's really up to you, whichever way you prefer. Both are correct, both will give you the same amount of marks. So pick which way makes more sense to you and do it that way. Okay. Question 3. So share 45 jelly beans into the ratio of 3 is to 2. So the first thing I'm going to do here when I'm sharing an amount into a ratio is I have to find the total number of parts. So the total parts is both parts of my ratio added together. So it's 3 plus 2, which will give me 5. So now the amount I have to share is 45 jelly beans. So 5 parts of the ratio is equal to 45 jelly beans. So if I want to find out what 1 part is, I'm just going to have to divide by 5. So 5 parts divided by 5 is 1 part. 45 divided by 5 is going to give me 9. So 1 part is 9. Now my ratio asks for 3 parts and 2 parts. So 3 parts is just going to be 9 times 3, so that's 27. And the 2 parts is going to be 9 times 2, which is 18. So therefore it would be shared 27 to 18. There we go. So question 4, an engineer's drawing of an aircraft is drawn at a scale of 1:250. Calculate the scaled length of the aircraft is 225 meters long in real life. So we've got the actual length, so it's 22.5 meters, and we've got the scale factor, which is 250. So if I want to convert that actual length to the scale factor, so if I'm going from actual length to drawing length, I have to divide. So I'm going to have to divide my actual length by my scale factor. So I will divide, so there's a few different ways with the converting here. So you may convert now or at the end. I'll convert at the end. So I'll do 22.5 meters, and I'm going to divide that by my scale factor, which is 250. Sorry, I'll just make this a bit clearer up here. That shouldn't be 2:50, that's 250, because my scale factor is 250, because that's what it says in the ratio. So 22.5 meters divided by 250, that is going to give me 0.09 meters. Now obviously that's not in a unit that's very practical. You know, we don't say something 0.09 meters away, we'd say centimeters. So if I times that by 100, that will convert it to centimeters, and 0.09 times by 100 is 9 centimeters. So therefore it would be 9 centimeters on the drawing. So the scaled length is going to be 9 centimeters. So question 5, Margaret purchased a 3-bedroom house for $385,000 and it sold it a year later for $462,000. Calculate the percentage profit on her investment. Okay, so her percentage profit, the formula for that is our profit, so how much money she's made, divided by the original amount, so the original value of the house, multiplied by 100%. Okay, so first obviously we'll have to work out the profit. So the profit, as we know, our formula for profit is the selling price minus the cost price. Okay, so our selling price, well, she sold it for $462,000, so that would be our selling price, $462,000. And her cost price, how much did she buy it for? She bought it for $385,000. So therefore, the profit will be $462,000. Take $385,000, which will leave $77,000. So that's her profit. We can then put that back into our original formula. So our original formula there was our percentage profit equals our profit over our original value times 100%. Okay, so our profit we just worked out was $77,000. Our original amount was how much she paid, which was $385,000. Times that by 100%, and that will give us an answer of 20%. So therefore, her percentage profit is 20%. Okay, question 6. Bobby Jones bought a mint condition copy of Michael Jackson's Thriller album in 1982. She originally paid $6 for it, but now expects to sell it with a 450% profit. So calculate the selling price. Okay, so we want to add 450% on because we know our selling price is our cost price plus our markup. So the cost price was our $6 and our markup is 450%. So to work that out, we're going to have to find 450% of $6. So 450% of $6 is, there's a few ways you can do this. So I'm going to turn it into a decimal. So 450 as a decimal is 4.5. If I multiply that by 6, that will give me the 450%. So 4.5 multiplied by 6 will give me $27. So therefore, I know that the markup is $27. So I can put those numbers back into my original formula. So the selling price is our cost price, which was 6, plus our markup, which was 27. So 6 plus 27 is going to be $33. So therefore, she will sell it for $33. There we go. It's a long time to wait to make a profit. Okay. Question 7, Ash puts $14,000, no he doesn't, he puts $1,400 into a bank account paying 6% simple interest per annum. So due to his debilitating Pokemon habit, poor Ash, he withdraws the total amount after only 240 days. So calculate the amount of money Ash will receive. So Ash is looking at simple interest there. So let's work out what we need there. So what do we know? So we're trying to find the interest. We know the principal amount. So the principal amount was that $1,400 he invested. We know the rate. So the rate is 6%. And we know the time frame. So the time frame there is 240 days. But because it's simple interest and it's per year, we have to turn that 240 days into years. So that is 240 divided by 360 years, and that's 0.67 years. So that's the number we'll have to put into our formula there. So we know our formula, so the interest that we're going to earn is the principal amount times by the interest rate multiplied by the time over 100. So if we fill that in, that's 1,400 multiplied by 6 multiplied by 0.67 over 100. Run out of space, you would keep working down the page. If we put all that into our calculator, we'll get 55.23, and that's dollars. So it's $55.23. But that's just our interest. We just calculated the interest, and it says total amount of money. So the total amount of money that he's going to receive, so the amount is going to be his principal amount plus his interest. So his principal amount was $1,400 and his interest was $55.23. So his total amount there will be $1,455.23. So therefore, he will receive, if I spell receive right, that will help. He will receive $1,455.23. Okay, question 8, we're on to our maps questions now. So Glenda, Joan and Petra have lunch together, and when the bill comes, it is not itemised, which means that the individual prices for each course are not listed. The total bill is $105. So all three had the same lunch special with the main course and a drink, but Joan also had dessert. So propose a ratio that could be used to split the bill fairly and explain your reasoning. Okay, so for this one, there's quite a few answers that could be counted as correct. So what I'm going to do now is not the only answer. This is a answer. You might have something different. That's fine. As long as it's a ratio that makes sense and you've explained why you've picked that ratio, that's okay. So the ratio is going to be Glenda to Joan to Petra. Okay, so what did Glenda have? So Glenda had a main plus a drink. Joan had a main plus a drink plus a dessert. And Petra had a main plus a drink. Okay, so if I'm assigning numbers to this, so Glenda had 2 things, Joan had 3 things, and Petra had 2 things. So that could be my ratio there. So that's 2:3:2. So why have I used that ratio? Well, I've used that because obviously you'd write this down. I'll write it down. So this ratio is fair because Glenda and Petra each ate 2 things, main and a drink, while Joan had 3, main, drink, and a dessert. We'll run out of space, you'd keep going. So the ratio 2:3:2 allows them to split the bill according to the number of items ordered. There we go. That's just an example. You might have split this a different way. That's okay, as long as you've got some reasoning and you've got some working to show how you got to your answer, that would be an acceptable answer. So the next thing, B, use your ratio to calculate how much each person needs to pay. So the ratio is 2:3:2, and the amount was $105. So we're going to share that into an amount. So first we have to do is find out the total parts of our ratio. So the total parts in the ratio is when we add them all together. So it's 2 plus 3 plus 2, that equals 7. So $105 is 7 parts. So we want to find out what one part is. So we're going to divide by 7. So 105 divided by 7 is 15. And $15 is one part because 7 divided by 7 is 1. So $15 is one part, but we want to find two parts. Two parts for Glenda. So that's 2 times $15. And I wrote 17 there. So 2 times 15 will be how much Glenda has to pay, which is $30. I'm just going to have to clear this. You'd keep working down the page. Joan has 3 parts. So that's 3 times 15. That's $45. And Petra has 2 parts. And that's 2 times 15, which equals 30. And then you can just write your sentence to finish it off. Therefore, Glenda and Petra each pay $30 and Joan pays $45. That could be an answer there. Okay, question 9. So Martha's favourite clothing shop is offering a buy two, get the third half price offer on t-shirts. The shop next door is offering 20% off the same brand of t-shirts. The regular retail price of the t-shirts in both stores is $19.95. Determine which store is the cheaper place to buy 3 t-shirts and calculate how much you would save compared to the other store. So it's asking us to do a few things, this question. We've got to find the cost of 3 t-shirts from both of the shops, and then we also have to find the difference in the prices. So we'll start off with Martha's favourite shop. So her favourite shop there, it's buy two, get the third half price. So buy two, get the third half price. And the t-shirts, as we know from the questions, they're $19.95 each. Okay, so the cost then from that shop would be 2 full price t-shirts, so $19.95 plus $19.95 plus the third one, which will be half price. So that'll be 0.5 times $19.95. So using my order of operations, I'll do my brackets first. So 0.5 times $19.95 is $9.97. I'll go to 3 decimal places there. So $9.97.5 cents. So if I add all those together, I get a total price of $49.87.5 cents. I'll round to the nearest full cent because obviously you can't have half a cent. So that's $49.89. No, 88. It's terrible maths. 88. So $49.88 would be the cost at her favourite store. Okay, so continuing working down this page, you'd buy the second store. So the second store has 20% off. So 20% off each shirt. Okay, so then the cost of the shirts then. So each shirt, if it's 20% off, you're paying 80% of the price. So it's going to be 0.8, which is 80% of the price of the shirt, which is $19.95. And she wants 3 shirts, so that's going to be multiplied by 3. So 0.8 times $19.95 is going to give me $15.96. So each shirt is $15.96, and she's buying 3 of those, which will give you a total cost of $47.88. Okay, so now we found out the cost from the first store, which was $49.88, and the second store, which is $47.88. So obviously the second store is cheaper. How much cheaper? We'll have to do our maths there, which obviously you can do in your head, but you want full workings. So the difference equals the cost at the second minus the cost at her favourite shop. So the cost at the second was 47, nope, the other way around. So the cost is going to be her favourite store. Okay, let's start again. Not the cost, the money she saves. Third time lucky. So the money saved is the cost from her favourite, which was the more expensive, minus the cost from their second store, which is the cheaper one. So the cost from her favourite store was $49.88, and from the second store it was $47.88. So that means her favourite store was $3. No, yep. So $2. So her favourite store was $2 more expensive. So therefore, the shirts are cheaper at 20% off each when buying 3. And she would save $2. There we go. I got there eventually. Okay, so question 10. Stephen has a credit card that charges 12.49% interest to its customers and compounds that interest monthly. Within 1 day of getting the credit card, he maxed out the credit card limit by spending $1,200. Stephen. So if he does not buy anything else on the card and he does not make any payments, calculate how much money he would owe after 6 months. Okay, so we need to work out the things we know. So we know the rate. So the rate is 12.49%. So that's how much his credit card will charge him, how much the interest rate will be. We know N, which is obviously the time. So we know the time, which is 6 months. And we know the initial amount. And the initial amount there is, sorry, I shouldn't write I for initial, I should write P for principal. So we know the principal amount. So the principal amount there is the amount he borrowed, which was $1,200. So from there we can put that into our formula. So the amount is going to be the principal, 1 plus R over 100 N. So we can just fill that in with what we know. Okay, so this probably looks a little bit different to normal. So you're probably wondering, why have I written my solution out like this? Actually, I'll just make this a little bit more clear. So it's because of what we've actually got going on. So the rate there is 12.49%, which I've turned into the decimal, but it's because it's compounding monthly, it's over 12. And the time that's compounding for is half a year. So there's 12 months in a year, but we only want half a year, so that's why we're multiplying 12 by 0.5. So it'll be 1,200, 1 plus 0.0104 to the power of 6. Put that there, put that into our calculator. We'll get our amount as $1,276.92. So therefore, Stephen would owe $1,276.92 after 6 months. That's obviously if he doesn't add anything else to his credit card or if he doesn't make any repayments. Okay, and that's all I've got for the video. It's gone on quite a while. Hopefully this makes sense to you. Please come and see me if there's anything that you're still struggling with.